Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the Red Panda exhibit at your Toledo Zoo. We are here for our daily Facebook Live for #ZooOpenOnline, and we are full of red panda cuteness today. I have to tell you guys, one of them just licked my phone case. Might be the highlight of my entire week. They are so stinking cute, and we can't wait to share way more about them with you. You're gonna lick it again? Thank you. That's amazing. All right, guys, while you're tuning in and joining us here, let us know who's watching and where you're from. We'll give some shout outs, and we'll get started here in just a few minutes because we do have a really fun surprise for you guys. Good morning, Alex. Oh, Abby says, best birthday surprise ever. I love it. We have made so many people's days this week, and we've celebrated quite a few birthdays. So happy birthday, Abby. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us. And good morning to Jennifer. Hi to Logan and Emma. Christian says these are his favorite animals at the zoo. Yes. Mm-hmm. Hi, Zoltan and Zuriel. Sorry if I mispronounced that one. Hi, Haven in Michigan. Good morning, Easton. Hey, Lucas and Whitney. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hi, Audra and Ainsley and PJ. Thanks for tuning in again. Nicole, thank you for tuning in for our lives. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we're glad you guys are tuning in and enjoying them. Happy Friday to Lisa and Lynn. Good morning, Kelly. Hi, Sydney. Hey, Hunter. Allison says she misses these girls. Well, you're going to get your fill today because we have all kinds of red panda cuteness for you. Marcy loves red pandas. We made Marcy's day too. Kensley, good morning. Hey, Brian and Hannah. Hi, Nancy in Northern Virginia. I know you just love my phone, don't you? Oh my goodness. Hi, Piper in Delta. Hey, Taylor. Hi, Jackie and Finley. Hi, Crosby. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Hazel in Michigan. We're glad that you love these. Hey, Sam, Charlotte, Amelia, and Emily. Hi, Athena and Kaden. Hi, Max and JJ. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Gabriel and Lucas, good morning. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started because I just can't wait for more of this cuteness any longer. All right. Welcome back to our daily Facebook Lives. We're here every weekday at 10:30, moving all around the zoo to show you what's still going on while you can't be here with us. We appreciate your support, and if you are able, please click that donate button at the bottom of our live feed to help sustain your zoo during this difficult time. You can always go to toledozoo.org/donate for more ways that you can help us too. Just a big shout out and thank you to everyone who has ordered our Meals on the Go. That has blown up this week, and we are so excited with all the new offerings and entrees changing weekly. Please keep coming back, keep ordering those meals, and keep donating to the local hospital workers. You guys have helped us to be able to donate meals each and every week, and we sincerely appreciate that. And don't forget about our education virtual offerings. They have so many cool things going on. Check those out at toledozoo.org/virtual. All right, we are here today with Coral and Caitlin, and we are going to be talking red pandas. And Coral, what is our surprise for everybody?
Today we are going to be painting with our three ladies here. I'm gonna just guess that we're gonna get the most cooperation out of maybe one. We'll see if I'm right on the one that I'm guessing that's gonna cooperate the most. But Kia and Misa are normally our go-to painters, but we'll see who we get cooperating today. This is actually a really simple process, guys. All we have to do is we use this non-toxic paint. So it's just a washable paint. And what we'll do is we'll put it on the cardboard like you just saw Caitlin doing, and then we will just call them over with crayon and have them walk through the paint and then walk onto the canvas. Now it normally takes a few passes to get them to actually walk in this paint because they don't really love the feel of it at first, but the crayons always win out. on the caution that they initially have with having paint on their feet.
Oh, look at those little footprints.
Something I want you guys to notice too, especially at the beginning, you'll notice that with red pandas, when they give us these paintings, it kind of looks just smushy and messy. Now the reasoning for that, and I'll have Corey show you at some point throughout this talk, is because these guys have fur completely covering the bottoms of their feet. So they don't have those distinct pad prints like you'll see on a dog or a cat. They've got smushy, fluffy paw prints.
Oh, it's so amazing. She's quite the artist here, moving all around the canvas, making sure she has both colors going on.
So as you can tell, this is it's not stressful at all for these girls. It's just a nice little crazen treat that they get to just pretty much walk around. It's really just a matter of desensitizing them to the feeling of the paint on their feet. That's the main process of when we're training these girls to paint.
And they are crazy for craisins. Talk to us about that.
So these ladies, actually, the main portion of their diet is going to be bamboo, but the other things that they will eat in the wild and here at the zoo is they'll eat little bits of fruit. If they can find any rodents or small birds or eggs, they would eat those. But something that they really love here are craisins. Grapes are kind of hit or miss with these girls, but they love the craisins. So they do, all of their training is rewarded with craisins.
All right. Well, let's take some questions while we watch our artist at work here. All right, let's see. Well, scrolling back here to find our first questions. All right, all right. Kelly wants to know, what are their names?
So our painters right now, Caitlin has Misa. She's gonna walk across our canvas here. I was indeed a winner. She is our main contributor here to our painting. And then I am distracting Kiaria so that Caitlin can work with Misa.
And the third one that's above your shoulder on the other side?
And then Kia. She's our oldest girl. She is unrelated to these two. Misa and Kiaria are actually twins.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we have Kia, Kiaria, and Misa.
And Marcy, before I scroll by and don't have a chance to answer this, your question about where do you order the meals, and yes, the donations go to local hospital workers, and you can order the meals at toledozoo.org/mealsonthego. All right, moving on to our next Red Panda question. All right. You answered Alex's question of are our red pandas related, so that was perfect. Awesome. Next, how did you know they could paint?
So red pandas, just by nature, are a pretty easygoing, calm species. So when we know that we're able to work in with these animals, that's kind of one of the first things that we know we can try, is to have them paint, because it's so simple. It really is. As long as you can get them over that initial feeling of the paint on their feet, it's a really nice, easy behavior to train.
And you're able to get them over that feeling with the food rewards?
Absolutely. Yep, we always use positive reinforcement. And for a red panda, we're talking craisins.
And Alex wants to know, what other animals paint here at the zoo?
So many animals. So anything from an elephant down to an armadillo, over to multiple reptile species. The only thing that I'm not sure if they've gotten to paint at this point is a fish.
All right, well, things to work on,
but
right?
Just about everything else we'll paint.
And we do have paintings for sale, usually after Wild About Art, our art fair that we have in the summer. This painting we are actually going to raffle off next month. So if you guys are enjoying this and would like to see this painting in your house, stay tuned and we will let you know how and where to go to bid on it. And Noah asks, are red pandas fast?
Actually, red pandas they're not super fast, they're not up in the cheetah range, but these girls, they are deceiving because they make you think by all the laying around that they do that they wouldn't be very fast moving, but they do run pretty fast. The awesome thing about a red panda running, though, is the jiggle. So when red pandas run, they've got skin kind of like a new puppy that when you hold on to their skin, you can move it around because they're kind of like 5 pounds of potatoes in a 10-pound sack. They just kind of can squirm around in their skin. So when they are running around, they jiggle.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so cute. And we're getting some questions and comments about their fur. Talk to us about that.
So we picked a really interesting time of year to do this live feed for you guys. Right now, what we're seeing is all of this extra fur. So what's happening is that they are shedding out their coat. And the reason that they do this is because they are very cold weather hardy animals. So when it gets too warm, they need to get rid of a bulk of this fur so that they can keep cool. Now, something that is always a little confusing for me with our pandas is that they are blowing out their coat now, but they're going to regrow this coat right as it gets the hottest of the year.
Oh, goodness.
So it's a little confusing on the timing of that, but that is the reason behind it. They always shed their coat in the springtime, but it will grow back in as fluffy and luxurious as what it was to begin with. So you'll notice mainly it'll be around their face. Their faces will get a lot more pointier in the cheek area. And then they mainly lose it, like their tail will look like little sticks. They go from having those beautiful puffy tails to a nice thin tail that it still has the rings on it though, even when they lose the bulk of the fur off of it before it grows back.
All right, and Becca wants to know, Becca, you can't purchase these paintings yet. As we said, we usually put them up for sale after our Wild About Art Fair. And this particular painting that you all watched today, we are going to raffle off next month. And we'll have Cora give you a little preview of it so you can see the final product that Caitlin's holding for us. And Coral, tell us which two girls helped do this again?
So this was Misa, and it was really Misa. Kiaria was just giving Caitlin the runaround here.
She was just a bit in the way.
So something I wanted to point out to you guys, when I talk about these girls like the cold, what is it, maybe about 55? Mm-hmm. You can already see that if you look at how she's breathing, Misa is already a little warm. She's already doing a little bit of the so, and we are in our jackets and just thinking it's a beautiful day. And for these pandas, it's already getting a little warm for them at 55.
All right. And guys, you will be able to bid on this painting. We're going to raffle it off next month. So stay tuned to our social and our website so you can get more information on that. And we're going to go back to some questions here. Alyssa wants to know if they like being pet.
No. The easy answer is no. The only time that we're able to touch these ladies is when it's based around training. And that's actually something that we're working with all three of them at this point, is to get to be able to be more tactile with them. And the reason behind that is not because we think they would be a lovely pet and we want to play with them. The reason behind it is for medical reasons. So it's really useful if you can get your hands on the animals to be able to touch them without having to anesthetize them, which means make them go to sleep so that you can see them. So say that our girls were acting oddly and we wanted to be able to have the vets palpate their belly. It's really helpful if we can just call them over and hold a treat for them and be able to let the vets palpate their belly.
All right. And Cameron wants to know, do their tails have a function?
Yes, they actually have a few functions for their tails. No, ma'am. So their tails are used for a nice little nose scarf when it's really cold out. Because if you look at these ladies, the only part on their body that does not have fur covering is their eyes and their nose. So when it's really cold, they will cover their nose with their tail. They'll roll into a little ball and cover up that face. And then also, They are mainly arboreal, so that means that they spend most of their time up in the trees. And what they'll do with their tail in that instance is they use it for balance.
And Kellen, age 6, would like to know, what color are they when they're born?
So when these guys are born, they're actually born gray. And now if I could get one of them over here and cooperative with our touch training here, I could actually separate their fur for you, because even when they're adults and they have this nice rusty reddish orangish color, their undercoat is still gray. So their undercoat stays the gray color that they were when they were born, and they get the nice red and white overcoat.
Beautiful. And Sam asks, what are their predators in the wild?
So these guys, their main predator is going to be snow leopards and then humans.
And Hunter asks, how old are they?
Misa and Kiaria are going to be 3 in August. And then Kia is going to be, or she just turned 8, I think.
All right. And Chris asks, do they eat vegetables?
Well, not really. When we first got these girls, we tried everything, because the key to training is finding a treat that the animal will like. So we tried different veggies and different fruits, and the only thing that we have found that they really eat, but never when we want them to, never like for a training purpose, is tomato. So when we were shifting back and forth between pandas and primates being in this exhibit, we would always make sure to clean up as much food as we could see. But it never failed. When you would come out after the langurs had been out here and then the pandas came out after them, you would find tomato peels in their poop.
Speaking of poop, Ray wants to know what their poop looks like.
So that's actually a panda fun fact, is that their digestion is so quick, everything moves through their system so fast that whatever they eat is pretty much about what their poop looks like. So they have these brown chow biscuits that we see here. When they eat a lot of chow, their poop pretty much looks like soft brown biscuits. And then when they eat a lot of bamboo, their poop will be green and more pellet formed. And they also get a red chow biscuit. When they eat a lot of red chow, their poop is red.
Fair enough. All right, Tony wants to know from both Coral and Caitlin, what is your favorite part of your job?
You first. Go ahead.
Caitlin's on first.
I would probably say probably training is probably my favorite thing. To be able to watch the progression of an animal as you're training a behavior, and to kind of see that once they finally kind of clicks and they get what you're asking them to do, it's a pretty cool moment. So that's probably like my favorite thing that I get to do, and that's for all the animals that I train. I train not only the pandas, but all the small primates that we have in here. So it's pretty much the best part of my job.
My favorite thing to do as a keeper, and now in my new position, is actually exhibit work. I love building things and moving their structural enrichment around so that it gives them something new and fun to do and to stimulate them.
Very nice. And Isabel asks, where are red pandas found in the wild?
So red pandas, there are 2 species of red panda. These ladies are found in the eastern part of their natural habitat, and that would be in southwestern China. And then the other that have the whiter faces, which if any of you guys came to our zoo about 4 years ago or so, we had 3 different red pandas, and they had really light faces, were a little smaller. That is the other form of the red panda, and those guys are found in the western portion of their natural habitat, and that would be in the Himalayas. That's going to be in India, Nepal, Myanmar, and Bhutan.
And Jenny asks, going back to when you were talking about their fur, is it coarse or soft like a cat?
So if you would get a clump of their undercoat, it's super, super soft, really fluffy, but their top coat is more coarse. Think more like a German Shepherd.
All right. And Teresa asks, why are they called red pandas?
So red for the obvious reasons of the beautiful coloration that they have, but panda, when broken down in one of the locations they're found in, is actually, it means bamboo-footed, and Corey is getting the perfect shot for you as I say this, because she's eating bamboo right now. And that's actually really the only thing that red pandas have in common with giant pandas, hence the panda name, is that they're both bamboo eaters.
But they're not technically in the same scientific family, right?
Not at all. Red pandas are actually, they're so special, they're actually the only species in their family. They're not related, they're not very closely related to much of anything.
And Abby wants to know, how big do they get, and are these pandas full grown?
So I know you've seen us with the girls right now, but to give you an idea, I'm a full-grown adult, obviously. So about a hand's length. You know, these guys are a little bit larger than your normal house cat, but they are full-grown. The red panda is full-grown by the time that they're around a year to a year and a half old.
And Johnny wants to know if you can have them for a pet.
No. Nope. They do not make good pets. Not only is it just ethically not a good thing to do, but as far as their behavior and their needs, it wouldn't be good for them. These guys they can be rather destructive. They are technically carnivores, so it would be an unhappy living environment for you and the red panda.
And they do eat a lot of bamboo, which we have learned in previous interviews is a grass, but it doesn't grow well here, right?
Bamboo is extremely invasive. So our bamboo comes from around the railroad tracks where you guys would get to take a ride on our train around the Africa exhibit. But it is extremely durable. It does actually grow well, pretty much wherever you put it. If you put bamboo down, it's going to take over anything else that you've got in the area.
And Lila wants to know, are they kind and nice to each other?
So red pandas are actually, naturally, they are solitary animals in the wild. So the only time that you would see pandas together in the wild would be if it was mating season or if they had babies with a mom. So the way that we're able to house multiple red pandas together in a zoo setting is because we give them a lot of space. And if you look around this exhibit is wonderful for the red pandas. It gives them a lot of pathways to move around each other and away from each other, because if two red pandas come face to the face, they need to be able to go around each other. They don't want to, it's very much a battle of willpower of, no, this is my path, you go around. So.
And everybody in here can have their own little space.
Oh, yes.
We have one up in the rope net right now.
Oh my goodness, that's Misa.
Misa's up just chilling out up there.
So Misa's favorite spot in the exhibit, and really everybody's, but mainly Misa and Kiaria love that hammock that Corey is showing you guys. And then Kia really likes our hut that's up higher in the exhibit. She likes to sleep in the hut. And then Kiaria, the space where the vertical log meets the horizontal log above the hut is Kiaria's favorite place.
All right.
Yeah.
And Luke, age 7, would like to know, how long do they live?
So on average for a red panda, if they reach a year of age, then their average lifespan is around 10.
And Ella asks, were they born here at the zoo?
Nope. So like I said earlier, Kiaria and Misa are twin sisters. We got these two ladies from the Nashville Zoo. And then Kia came from the Columbus Zoo.
And can you recap their names and who's who again for Stevie?
So Kiaria is munching on bamboo right now that you're looking at. Misa is in the hammock, itching her face. Remember all that fur shedding? She's nice and itchy.
Kia's over there.
And then Kia is
At the top of
up
the-
way up high, sitting on top of a pole. And what she's doing right now is actually kind of interesting. She is tongue tasting. It's a way of smelling for these guys, the top of that pole. So they will lick an object with their tongue and then they curl their tongue up to their nose so they can smell that object.
Now, do you still put some of the other primates in here at times, or is this pretty much their exhibit?
At this time, it's pretty much their exhibit now.
And Stanley, age 3, asks, what noise do they make?
So red pandas don't really make a lot of vocalizations. Their main vocalizations are going to be kind of like a twittering or a chirping sound. And most of those vocalizations are based around breeding time. So they will make a really light sounding twittering sound when they encounter each other. And they also will make kind of a huffing sound where they breathe really, really deeply and then puff air into your face if they're kind of just sniffing you. But probably one of the best vocalizations, and I highly recommend to YouTube this, would be a red panda bark quack.
Yes,
So,
you and I got to hear this when
Yeah.
we, and Corey,
Yeah.
when we all went to pick these two girls up at Nashville.
Yes.
And it was the most amazing sound. Tell us about
Yes,
this.
so this vocalization is based around when they're startled. So if they are startled, they will actually rear up on their back legs and they will put their paws straight up in the air. And most of the time from there, they fall onto their back as they're making this bark quack is a perfect description of the vocalization.
Yep,
And
so
if you want to see the bottom
definitely,
of their feet, you can show them their furry feet.
definitely YouTube that one. It is totally worth checking out.
Yes.
All right, and Dylan, age 9, would like to know, what do red pandas like to play with?
Well, naturally these guys are just going to kind of, if they're walking around and they see any sort of log on the ground or something kind of in an arc on the ground, they can kind of jump on it and roll around underneath of it. If you look around our exhibit, like these branches behind us, I don't have anything. These branches behind us, they'll just kind of jump in them and flop on their backs and roll around. They're kind of like new kittens in the sense that if they're walking along and something strikes their fancy, they're going to pounce on it and roll around with it. They're not very great with enrichment-based things because they are really just kind of food motivated. They're not very curious as far as like a primate would be, where they want to see what's in things and under things. It's more of there's a rock, I'm going to roll around on it.
And as we're seeing with who's with you right now,
This is Misa.
as we can see, she's just looking to see if you have more craisins.
She wants more craisins. So as you notice, I'm having her smell the back of my hands. These girls, red pandas have a pretty good sense of smell. So if I would let her smell my fingertips where I was holding the craisins, she would think that I had craisins in my hand, and she would be nipping at my fingers trying to get the invisible craisin.
And that leads right into Crosby's question is, do they have sharp teeth?
Absolutely. So these guys have canines and they do have sharp teeth. Something that's interesting about their molars, though, is that since they are bamboo eaters, they have actually evolved a way of masticating that bamboo a lot easier, and they have enlarged, flattened molars. That helps them, and they have really strong jaws as well.
And you and I have talked before. They have a really interesting appendage called a panda thumb.
Yeah.
Tell us about their panda thumb.
So it's an extension of their wrist, off their wrist, that works as kind of a thumb action that helps them to grasp things. Just a minute ago, Corey got a really great image of Kiaria eating the bamboo, showing you the bottom of her paw, and she also was grasping that bamboo. So these guys actually have gripping hands and feet, which allows them to do really cool things. So that extension on the wrist bone helps them to climb down, and as well as just having those gripping hands and feet. So when they climb up or down, they're always going head first.
And not all animals do that.
Absolutely not. Nope. Mm-mm.
And Catherine, yes, when we raffle off the painting that our red pandas created today that Caitlin has right now, we will put their names, who painted the artist, on the back of it, and we will include a picture of the red panda so that you can, these are awesome conversation pieces in your house, guys.
Yes.
I mean, yes, it looks like a tiny child may have created it, but
Yes.
when you say I have a red panda painting, people want to know how on earth you got that.
And
So
for whoever that happens to win this painting, if you're watching right now, you do have a grade A wonderful panda paw print right here. 1,
Woohoo!
2, 3, 4, and the pad.
Oh, yes. Perfect. And as we said, guys, we are going to raffle that off next month in May. So stay tuned to our social and our live feeds to learn more about that and see how you can bid. That's next month for that cool painting. All right, let's see what else we have here. Talk to us about when they're indoors and when they're outdoors. What climates do they like?
So these ladies are always looking for cooler temperatures. So as soon as it gets to around 60 degrees, they're looking for some sort of air conditioning. They will be outside all through the winter time. If you're sitting at home with a snowstorm and it's sleeting and you're thinking that you're feeling bad for a red panda, don't, because they're sitting outside on the top log, rolled up in their little panda ball, just getting covered with snow.
And loving it.
So they really like the cold. In the summertime, there are two very distinct panda poses. There is the cold panda and the warm panda. Hot panda is when they have an arm and a leg on both sides of a log and their necks are extended. And then cold panda is when they go into that little ball and they bring their tail over their nose.
Yep.
So in the cold temperature, they're always going to be outside. In the warmer temperature, they'll have access to air conditioning.
Awesome. And Ashley asks, can they swim?
They can. Do they want to? No. They don't really want to swim, but they can.
All right. And Karen says, are they endangered?
Yes, they are. They were changed over from just at risk to endangered back in 2012. And that's because they are now in the wild. There are less than 10,000 pandas, but there is also the potential to only be around 2,500 red pandas left in the wild. And the reason why there's such a big gap in that number is because it's really hard to study these guys in the wild because they're very elusive. They blend in wonderfully with their environment, so they're hard to find.
And we've gotten some questions about, will we ever have babies here? Now, obviously, we have 3 females, but tell us what could be in the works.
So, what is definitely in the future for the Toledo Zoo and red pandas is we are looking forward to building a panda breeding facility. And when we make that happen, we're actually going to be only one of 2 breeding facilities for red pandas in the nation. So that will be multiple exhibits where we'll be able to house pairs of pandas together for breeding situations, and they'll be able to raise their babies in a nice, quiet, comfortable area. It'll be planted with bamboo. They'll have rocks and logs and all the good things that is very natural and good for breeding pandas.
And while we are raising money for that, you guys may have seen before our Raising Up Red Panda campaign. If you came out to celebrate International Red Panda Day with us last year, or you've come to any of our Zumba events, we are raising money to create that red panda breeding facility, and it will be an off-exhibit area because red panda babies are very fragile, right?
Yes. So, and it's not just the babies, it's the bond between mother and baby. So with red pandas, they are more of a high-stress animal, so you can't tell while these ladies are just lounging and eating bamboo around us. But something that's really important for new mothers and their babies is for them to have a quiet, kind of secluded area for them to be able to den up with their cubs and to raise their new babies. So a stressed panda mom can be known to incessantly move their babies to the point where they don't feed them well enough. So something that you really want to be careful with when you're breeding red pandas is to give them a nice, quiet, secluded area to do that.
So yes, in case you're just joining us, the answer to will we ever have babies at the zoo is yes. In the future we will. And can you guys just imagine how cute red panda babies have to be when they're this cute as adults?
Yes, and that's something that if you think you enjoy this footage now, when this facility comes about and we are breeding red pandas, even though it'll be off exhibit, Kim and Corey and the red pandas will be a very close family of interaction with the public and getting to see what's going on in this facility.
Yeah, we promise to definitely share as
Yes.
much of that process as we can. And I personally can't wait. Noah, age 8, asks, how do we cool off the red pandas in the summer?
So in the summer, once it's above a feels like temperature of 78, they absolutely have to have access to air conditioning. And we have these really cool slabs of marble that we can stick in the freezer and put out for them. And that's their decision to use it or not, but that's a nice way of giving them a nice cold space to lay on. And then we will put up shade as well as we can for them.
Very cool. And Jeremy asks, are red pandas related to raccoons?
That's actually one of the things that they're closest related to, but even in saying that, it's not a very close relationship.
And Alan wants to know why we're able to be in their enclosure even during this time. Talk to us about all of the procedures that we went through to be able to be out here.
Yes, so when we enter into the Red Panda exhibit, it's a process. So when we come into the building, we change our shoes and we step in foot baths and we put on our masks and our gloves, and the main thing that we do that allows us to be able to come into any animal exhibit, not just red pandas, in any instance where you work with an animal, it's very much based around respect for that animal's personal space and what you're doing while you're in there with them. You always want to be aware of how the animal is behaving and how they're reacting to you being in their space, and you always want to be respectful of what they're telling you. If we had them running all over the place and they were panting and worked up and stressed, we would remove ourselves from the situation because we're stressing them out. So we are just very aware of what the animals are telling you when you're in with them.
And you guys will notice that we are all wearing our masks. We are being as socially distant as we possibly can at this point. And Coral and Caitlin, because they were interacting with the food items, were both wearing gloves. We are taking every precaution to take the best care of our animals as possible at this time and at all times. The Toledo Zoo's mission is all about caring for animals and conserving the natural world. Their care, their diet, their health, their wellness is our utmost concern at all times, and especially during this time of the COVID-19. All right, Trina has to ask, can they do Kung Fu?
Well, that depends on what you consider Kung Fu. The way that these girls can jump around and how agile they are, maybe that's what you would consider it. But no special kicks or judo chops.
And Alan says, they look so soft, I just want to pick one up and cuddle it. No, he doesn't, right?
No, you do not. So I was speaking a little earlier just about how they have gripping hands and feet. So let me break it down for you. If you ever came and tried to pick up a panda, the first thing they would do would be to try to bite you.
And they do have sharp teeth.
If they, very strong jaws, sharp teeth, that they weren't able to get their mouth on you, they have gripping hands and feet. And we got some good images earlier, and if we get the girls to come back down, I'm sure Corey can get another shot for you. Their claws are only semi-retractable, and they are hooked. So they have very similar claws to what a cheetah has. And what that means is that if they would grab you, they're not going to let go of you.
No. So
until you let go of them.
No panda cuddles.
No panda cuddles.
The Smith family asks, do they get a special treat for their birthdays, and when are their birthdays?
So Misa and Kiaria's birthdays are in August, and then Kia's birthday is in March. Or April, is it? Kia's in June? Okay, Kia's in June.
Kia's in June, we have confirmed.
And the other two girls are in August. And on their birthdays, that's always something that as keepers, it's something that whenever you have a birthday, you try to give them something a little extra. But nothing, no cakes. Nothing like that.
And Penny would like to know, why do they have white on their faces?
Well, I can't necessarily tell you why they have white, but if you look at their faces, you can see those tear streaks, kind of like a cheetah would have, of the darker, and that's the same idea for the cheetahs as it is for these guys, where it helps to keep the light out of their eyes. The rest of it is just, unique coloration to the individual.
And Jet, age 6, wants to know, how do they escape from predators?
So these ladies are very arboreal, which means that they spend time up in trees. So when they would encounter a predator, we also got asked earlier if they can run quickly. They can probably climb a tree faster than they can run. So they will scoot up a tree faster than what you would be able to get your hands on them.
And Haley wants to know, how do you tell each of the girls apart?
Actually, the 3 that we have now are really pretty simple to tell apart. Misa has the most white on her face, and then Kiaria, her twin sister, is actually the darkest all over her body, but her face, especially if you look at her, we call them her eyebrows. She has 2 white spots for eyebrows, and then Kia only has 1 spot. And her little eyebrows are very round.
Very nice. And Carrie wants to know, do they only eat the leaves of the bamboo or the stem too?
They eat both. So we haven't, out of the 6 pandas that we've had so far, none of our girls have really eaten much of the shoot. But by, overall for the species, yes, they are known to eat the shoot and the leaves. And the amount that they eat is crazy. So in a day, they can eat over 3 pounds of leaves and over 5 pounds of shoot.
Oh my goodness.
They eat a lot of bamboo, and the reason for that is because they actually are not able to break down cellulose. So they have to eat a lot of the bamboo so that they're able to nutritionally cover what their body needs.
Oh, so cute. Yeah, we were talking over here about Kiaria just chilling out over here by the hut. All we can see is just one little paw hanging down.
A paw and a tail.
And Aiden wants to know if they can hear well.
Yeah, they have good hearing. Their hearing isn't necessarily something that's above and beyond ours. Probably a little bit better than ours, but more than anything, it's their sense of smell that's better.
And Amanda, we are in Primate Forest, the very first exhibit closest to the splash pad, and kind of just as you're coming out of Main Plaza, that's where you can find our red panda girls hanging out. All right, and Alex wants to know, how can we help red pandas in the wild?
Well, there is a few different ways of helping red pandas in the wild. One, we got the question earlier of, are these guys good pets? Nope. And the simplest way that you can help is to never take on an exotic animal as a pet. And then on top of that, if you are more conscious of where you get your wood that you build with and things like that, that's helpful, because the main issue that red pandas are having in the wild is deforestation, where they're native to, which is in the Himalayas and in southwestern China. And then also just agricultural issues. So in the United States, is there a ton that you can do for red pandas specifically? Not really. One of the easiest ways that you can help is you can find places that are working with red pandas in the wild, and you can donate to them. They have a program through the Red Panda Network that there are called rangers for these guys, and they're the ones that are actually out in the wild helping these guys and making sure that no poaching is happening or anything like that. And they're taking the data to help research for what they really need to be able to help them. So donating financially in that aspect will help red pandas specifically in the wild, but it's just being very conscious and aware of the footprint that you're leaving behind. And by the footprint, I mean, make sure you're recycling, make sure you're conscious of the amount of water that you use and the amount of electricity that you use, the resources that we're using on Earth.
Absolutely. And as we talked about, another way that you can help these guys is we are raising funds through our Raising Up Red Pandas campaign for a new breeding facility to be built here on ground so that we can help bolster the population of this endangered species. So that's another way you can help out. All right, guys, I think we're going to end today with, we've got just a couple questions left here. Let's go with Paisley, age 6, wants to know, if they're funny.
I think so. I'm sure Caitlin would agree. I definitely think they're funny. These guys will, out of nowhere, be walking around and just flop over and roll around with a rock or a piece of a log. So, yes, I definitely think you could find videos of red pandas on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Absolutely. I totally agree too. And Layla, age 6, wants to know, how do they balance so well on logs? Oh my goodness.
So, as she's balancing up on her
Oh,
back
you're
feet.
just so cute.
So they get a good portion of their balance from these nice long fluffy tails that you're seeing. And also because, as we were showing just a minute ago, their paws are gripping. So see how she curls her toes over this board? They're not just walking flat-footed, they actually grip.
That is so cool. And Easton and Jeremiah, ages 4 and 5, do they like rain and storms? You mentioned they like snow.
So not necessarily that they like it one way or the other, but they do not mind at all. When we have storms, we always give them access inside, and they also have these huts in here that are enclosed that they can go into. When we come in the morning, they're asleep up on a high log, soaking wet. So you're like, okay, you didn't go inside. You didn't use your access at all. So they don't care.
All right, and we're going to end with, what is the best time of year and of the day to come see them active here at the zoo?
So best time of year to come see red pandas is going to be in the fall and the winter time, especially the first snow is always a great time to come see these girls because they do love the snow. And then the best time of day is going to be as first thing in the morning. If you come over and pop over and see these girls, that's going to be the best time to come over, or at around 3:30, 4, because that's another feeding time that the keepers always feed the red pandas.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And as we said, the painting that we created will be raffled off next month. So stay tuned to our social feeds and our website for information on how you can bid on that amazing animal created piece of art. And thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to the red pandas for licking my phone and making my day. We hope that you guys enjoy these, and we can't wait to see you again next week.